The man was about to urinate into the stove, but what came out was black liquid. The stove instantly flared up with sparks and flames, leaving the man stunned. He went to the hospital for a full-body checkup, and the result showed that the urine he expelled was actually petroleum. Just as he was about to ask why, he was unexpectedly seized by two men in white coats. It turned out they wanted to take him away for research. It seemed his fate was grim. In a panic, the man suddenly felt the urge to urinate again. He was let out of the vehicle to relieve himself, but his urine flowed so much that it reached the feet of the men in white. Startled, one of them accidentally dropped his lighter, instantly igniting the petroleum. Chaos broke out among them, and the man took the opportunity to escape. After a night of fleeing, the man became dizzy and passed out. When he opened his eyes again, he found that he had been rescued by some nearby villagers. After getting some food, the man gradually regained his strength. The villagers took him for a walk in the fields. The village chief complained that their village used to produce a lot of rice, but due to rising fuel prices, the tractors used for plowing couldn't run anymore, and the whole village was anxious. Suddenly, the man had an idea. He picked up a bottle and ran into the woods alone. Before long, he unscrewed the tractor's fuel tank and poured in a bottle of fuel. When he started the engine, the tractor actually fired up. Everyone was dumbfounded. Not long after, he was given an office, and the village chief assigned his daughter as the man's assistant. The man's job was to keep drinking water and produce petroleum. The more he drank, the more oil he produced. Being able to help the kind villagers was a good thing. But one day, a high-ranking official came to the village chief, and the two seemed to be conspiring about something. The man, however, was kept in the dark. Just then, some villagers came asking why oil production had decreased. There were even fewer buses running. After hearing this, the man kept drinking water desperately, but before long, the power in the room went out. Even though oil production was increasing, why was there a shortage of energy? With suspicion, the man secretly went to the oil storage facility and discovered that the oil tanks had export labels on them. It turned out the village chief had been secretly selling the oil at high prices. The man confronted the chief, but the chief flew into a rage and had the man tied up, forcing him to continue producing oil. The man struggled to escape, but it was no use. Soon, the oil in his body kept building up. He couldn't stand the feeling anymore. Just as he was about to give in, his assistant rushed into the room and untied him. The two of them escaped into a nearby forest. Soon, the village chief realized the man was missing and launched a search. Before long, he spotted oil on a branch. This must have been left by the man. He then released scent tracking hounds. Meanwhile, the two fugitives found an abandoned factory. The warmth of the campfire stirred their emotions, and they ended up sleeping together. Unexpectedly, the village chief soon found them with the help of the hounds. The man fought desperately but was outnumbered. Suddenly, the high-ranking official barged in with his men. He wanted to forcibly take the man for research and had already drafted a detailed oil production plan. He was convinced they would soon become an oil superpower. However, the man did not agree. He grabbed a burning stick and pointed it at the official. The official remained unmoved, so the man pulled down his pants. He intended to spray oil and burn these despicable people to death. But to his surprise, what came out extinguished the flames. His miraculous ability had suddenly disappeared. Does anyone know why? The man was no longer of any use. The official and the village chief stopped bothering him. Soon, the assistant became the man's wife and gave birth to a chubby son. One day, the baby suddenly started crying. It was time for a diaper change. But what the baby urinated turned out to be petroleum.